Hello, this is Krillian, and welcome to episode 18 of my Let's Play Total War Attila as the Eastern Roman Empire on Legendary difficulty. Now, unfortunately, when I first played through this, we had technical issues, and I was unable to get it to my volume to work. So we're going to be doing a voiceover where we go through and I talk about what's going on. We did just have apparently a close victory over Iran. Probably attacked me, to be honest, especially considering the number of kills I have here. Unfortunately, it has been a while, or fortunately or unfortunately, it's been a while since I played this one, so it's going to be a little bit of a looking back and considering we had some good kills here. 300, 300, 256. Some people that I'm very happy with. Some people not so exciting. One of our many battles in Mashan. So many battles in Mashan. So, here we have it. We did lose 2 battalions. They lost a heck of a lot more. And we of course took recovery because at this point, just continuing to be able to fight is vital for the long-term campaign. Looks like Susa is in the hands of Macron, and we have various spies around. Seeing who else will attack us this turn. During these end turns, I'm going to kind of fast forward it. We have another attack here at Mashan, because you know, you can never have too many battles at Mashan. I'm pretty beat up, but my troops are pretty good, and we're gonna have a good defensive position and a catapult. So I believe that we have a good chance of winning this. Again, it's been a while, and so I'm not entirely sure how good this turns out, but we of course fight it because if you can't just auto kill them, you need to fight and make sure you do your best, even if you lose. Because too much shock cavalry hits you or something, you still need to take out as much as you can ahead of time. Now, cavalry is a lot of their force, obviously, and our troops do really well against cavalry. If we can kill that general off early, this fight will be very straightforward, as those spears will not stand up. And I believe that I'm talking about that with the cursor right there. So they are coming in from on one side. Try to get our some of our troops to safer positions. Now we are pretty beat up, so it's one of those trying to put the worst off units where we can. Some of these cities, getting them into the right position can be very, very difficult. And then throw another beat up unit over there. Try to keep our worst units off, or worst off units off. The video was a little bit loud, I guess, so I turned my personal volume down. Does seem to have made the game a little quiet. A little bit of music still. Take what garrison troops there are and put them in the place most likely to be hit by the garrison. Oh, and then I still, of course, my spearmen that I was going to use over there. Oh well. We put a 3rd unit just because. Apparently we decided to go with our javelins. I do kind of like putting the swordsmen up there as javelin units just to take care of that. We go with our 95, I guess. Good number. They have a nice high ground right there, so they should be pretty good off. What if I remember to move that unit with 56 back to the right place? We don't want to fire at will. We need to make sure that everything we have is used as strongly as possible. Our slingers will have some pretty good shots depending on where we set up. We are apparently going in with them early. I don't think the opposing army has a lot of skirmishers. In some of the battles I found that if they have a lot of skirmishers, keeping your own troops skirmishers back and letting them fire off at your other dudes could be a good way of handling it. Put our general in a place where he can be in mobile testudo and be defended. We moved them over because that's probably going to be the best or hardest hit place. Like, oh look, there's another group of spears. What happened? Apparently I just put them over here. And I realized, oh, I moved them to the wrong place. Let's fix that so these dudes are not all alone. Cavalry is less likely to go to spears. So if I have a place where there's all spears, cavalry will be like, yeah, we'll go somewhere else. And then we're putting the sword unit back here. Figuring out where I want all my swords. I really did not do a very good job of positioning that spear unit. I did not seem to notice that at all. Hopefully I eventually realize it. Oh, maybe here I realize that's a really bad positioning. Or I just didn't care. Good, I did care. We want to be able to hold those lines. Throw some swords up on the wall, try to get their javelins used. Or darts or whatever it is that they have. I'm pretty sure those are on the wall. They are. Looks like we're pretty good. And we will get this battle underway. Now, the barricades in this city really don't mean much. Putting them there is like the best place, and it's not because it actually prevents them from getting to you. It's because they'll stupidly walk around and attack it where you can shoot them in the back. Sometimes I really wish they'd allow you to put barriers anywhere you wanted. I don't understand why they have to be in these few places that don't matter. It would have. Maybe it's easier for programming purposes. Who knows? Okay, we're going to double speed. Try to get this moving. Get this taken care of as quickly as we can. We end up fighting just some incredibly long defensive sieges in both the Eastern and Roman campaign. Where Rome 2 I kind of think is a giant game of whack-a-mole. Attila is defensive siege, defensive siege, defensive siege endlessly. Now we do have our one unit of cavalry. It's not going to do great against most of what they have, but hopefully we'll be able to use it to chase down a lot of their infantry units if we break them. They are not seeming to lead with their general. He is not going forward, and that one cav unit's not gonna crush a general unit. We do have our onagers. Oh, I think they're gonna try to fire at will. Oh, we definitely don't want that. Stop that firing at will. We're gonna do more damage to our own city with that. And we also forgot to change it to the fire. Fire explodes in our area, which for defensive sieges where they're piling up heavily is so good. And I'll move this so that we can better handle those coming to the side here. Now they have charged in some of the cavalry. We are in Testudo, and our 62 members of our... Ooh, those javelins on the side are apparently at better range. They're almost out of javelins already. Firing at their javelin men. Those javelin men have the potential to do considerable amounts of damage. And the first of the cav units is already faltering. They're charging into our spears. Ooh, they did do some good decent damage on those spears from what it looks like. But we are holding up just fine. the unit that ran out of javelins, or darts, we move over to assist, as we are beginning to take damage here. And we're already almost broke this unit. That's really good by this particular... and then I, for some reason, decided they should run off the wall. Get back on the wall, you fools. Get back on the wall. Over here we have quite a big build-up. We have one unit that's rolling around to that side.
Enemy troops have reached the walls!
And I think we're ready to begin lobbing fire. Let's see how well this goes. Sometimes the opening barrage just smashes your own troops. But it looks like that did a good job on them. That first shot cavalry is already backing away. For some reason they've left a group of Armenian spears over here. And here we have what I was talking about. How nice of them to just put their backs to me so that I could shoot them in the butt. That unit may finally be gone. We have some breaking over here. This area seems to be secure now. We've used all our javelins here and we're moving our guys down, and we've moved this unit that used all of their stuff out. They're apparently, one of these units is just getting wrecked. Oh, we finally broke those guys. That's good. For a moment there, they were really hurting us. Doing some heavy shot to bust up these Armenian spears, who really just seem to be there in order to prevent us from doing a flank attack on the unit over here. Getting some good strikes into this unit here. What are we doing with these guys? This is a great angle if they're over here. It's not a very good angle if they're attacking that place. And here we go to take out the skirmishers, because I don't really want to ever see them again. That general is not dying quickly, which could pose problems. This battle we were pretty lucky that they had so few skirmishers. Some of the more annoying battles have been where they have huge numbers of skirmishers, because they can start shooting you in the flanks and whatnot.
The enemy have rallied their units!
Okay, getting those, we're doing good over here. These guys are moving to put themselves into position to rain death on the enemy. That'll be very useful. We're not seeming to do much here. That one unit of Armenian spears is being problematic. Our numbers are going down. They still have 47 though, considering that they're leading the charge up here in the front. That's pretty good. We have some Persian cataphracts that we want to try to chase down. We're down to 51 in the nobles unit, so that's pretty happy. We've almost ran out of stuff here. That's, I think, why this one broke so fast. We obviously needed to pull a unit from here. No one's coming this way at this point, and if they are, we have that. We're down to half of them. They saw that I moved those swords out, so of course they're going to charge in at spears, which really is not a very grand idea. Killed off that cataphrax, and now we're going to use our speed boost to go catch these other cataphracts. I'm not a huge fan of these particular cavalry, but that speed boost when we're trying to catch other horse units fleeing, that does come in handy. So they did in fact charge in to deal with these guys here. I apparently burnt down my capital. Not that it matters a whole lot, but interesting. We're doing a good job of finishing off these cataphract units, I think. And those ran away. They realized charging a group of spears in Testudo is not a bright idea. Looks like the general is wavering. Be better if he was dead, but you know, do what we can do. Okay, we're getting some a lot of work out of that cav actually. That general just kind of walked out and stood right in front of him to get shot down. The enemy general is dead. I almost had to wipe out the whole unit, but he is gone. And that caused these spears to break. But Armenian spears have really good leadership or morale. So the general dying alone won't really break them. I'm going to move our archers over here. Maybe do some whistling shot, I'm not quite sure. Flaming shot. Or just go with lots of heavy shot to kill them. But with the amount of damage our units are taking, I think I just want to get rid of them. Try to chase them down with my cav if possible. These guys are still at 42. They have done a pretty decent job, I think. We do seem to be using heavy shots, so we're going for kills instead of breaking them. Go get those spears. That's a lot of spears. Those cataphracts are going to survive to fight another day. Oh, apparently I've decided, let us do try to break them, and I'm just going to send my cav in to do a flanking maneuver. Flanking on spears can be difficult. We have units that are very close to breaking over here. They have kind of settled down, that's good. Could have brought these swords over to help, but cavalry is starting to take damage pretty fast. And we did lose some men over here. They also have almost broken over here as well, which is great. The first spear unit broke. We're starting to run outside of the city walls in order to break them. Oh, and there goes the mass rout. We did lose 27 of our cavalry to do that. I don't know if that was the best choice. But with our waning numbers, I mean, these guys lost 10 in that short amount of time. We did kind of have to get something done. Now, at this point in the battle, I don't really have fast forward, so we'll just fast forward since we can on this. We're zipping down trying to kill all these dudes that we can. We are in the near future. I will actually have a pause button as the time you're I'm doing this retaping, but it is again quite a ways in the future that I get this. So eventually I will be able to just pause the videos while I'm chasing people down, and that'll help a little bit with time and preventing people from having to watch things. And it was a heroic victory, which is great. I much prefer to have heroic instead of pyrrhic victories. We lost 300 men to over 2,000. I think this... they have, what, maybe 3 units that got away? We lost no battalions. We again had some pretty good kill rates, so no one would top 300. But lots of people hit triple digits. Considering a bunch of them were pretty beat up going in to begin with, that's pretty decent. 218 seems to be our top contender, and I guess 271, but a lot of that was just chasing people down at the end. This unit did not get a lot of work done. They did not make up their worth. This unit definitely did good. This unit probably didn't have a full group to go in with, but it would have been nice if they were much closer to 200. And so that is another battle at Mashan in the exact same intern as we are continuing to do this. Let's go ahead and fast forward to the intern and see if we have yet more battles in Mashan. Nope. Instead it looks like they're coming in at Derhakium. Now in this case, we're fighting a lot of armies, but our troops here look pretty healthy. So, as we've seen, we can definitely handle defensive sieges, and what they have here is not very strong. We do want to try to kill the general first. Again, as always, this stuff's all wrecked. It won't be much use. our spears are better than their spears, and they're going to be fighting uphill. So it should be a pretty straightforward fight. Even with pretty huge numbers over us, they're actually not thought to win by that much. So it kind of tells you this should be a pretty good fight for our army. We do have some troops that are obviously beat up already. Dyrhachium, I think, at this point in the game, probably has held off the most defensive sieges. Although, Mashan's obviously contending to try to take that spot. So, we'll go ahead and fast forward because this load screen is not exciting. They have a lot of just generic spears here. Not really exciting different units. And of course they come in the rainiest night they can. Now, this particular place has 4 different openings, but since they're generally coming in from the sea, we can mostly assume that they probably are not going to come through here. Either this one or this area will be where most of the battle takes place. I'm taking my heavily damaged units and kind of throwing them off to a side because I don't really want them to die if I can help it. So we're going to have them as kind of like a last resort type stuff. And we'll use our green units to really begin the battle, hold the line. So, have our one barricade we will need to fix. We're figuring out that they probably won't go there. They'll probably come to this one is what I assume, since they're coming from the sea. And then that next. Now they can go all the way around and fight that from 2 different angles. They're just not likely to go that far out of their way. Apparently I am trying to use a very small unit here. This must be like the garrison unit for the city. Because who cares about the garrison unit for the city? And then we grab one of our full units. Because I can assume that this is where they're going to come to most strongly, as they are coming from the sea. Now sometimes getting this to work is really not easy. And apparently this time is one of those times. So I guess I've switched over to a sword unit. An archer unit. I've accidentally clicked on an archer unit to guard my borders. That's some high skill. I'm going to fast forward while I fight to get this to actually work. I'm like, hey, these are hunters. Why do I have them? There we go. Now I get a spear unit into place, put them together, and then of course I try to put another spear unit, because again I expect that to be the primary battle location. I come over to this one. I expect it to not be too bad, but I do put 2 spear units right there. Maybe I'd expect that one to be bad. Although to be honest, what I have here is a lot of spear units, so. This battle, I don't know, for whatever reason, I obviously had a lot of trouble. I ended up just starting to put them in front and hope to get it to work. So, I finally move everyone out of the way in case the bodies in the way are preventing me from doing it. Now I'm down to 3 more units of swords, which I place around to throw their javelins. I put my archers and stuff out, get them set up. I throw my general where I think he's going to be most useful, which again, because I assume that they're going to come in from there. And so now the battle begins. They come in by sea, so we can see them approaching, and they have a ton of reinforcements. And you'll notice that they have 2 generals. That's because we have one general that is a general for the Visigoths, and one general that's a separatist general. and they have both gone their different ways. We have our one cavalry unit. Kind of get them out of town. Luckily, they were not attacked by cavalry coming from that way. Apparently, there's a lot of Visigoth cavalry that's coming in its reserves. So we're going to go hide out in the fog and attempt not to get shot to death by all of these different units. So of course, they come into here, and we can throw our javelins at them pretty hard. And we have a horse unit that is just wrecking that unit. So we pull them back so that they don't get shot too much. We want to try to save our guys. This is a fight where I kind of said, you know what, if they have a lot of missile units, maybe hiding my missile units and letting them shoot at testudos makes a lot of sense. So we've already really messed up some of their cav. This unit's going to throw itself into our spears and probably die. And then I'm like, oh, they've moved all their shooty stuff to way over there, so let's just move our shooty stuff out of the way. Oh, they did attack over on this side. That's good. I don't think I've put these guys in testudo yet. I need to do that. Oh, there we go. That's an important thing to remember. Looks like their javelins are done. We are fighting on the fastest speed possible as we are trying to get this taken care of. Throwing some archers out to get rid of the shooty cav. Our swords have used all of their dagger or stuff there. And we have more units. I don't know why this sword unit's coming in from over here. They must have beached over there? That's kind of weird. So we should begin seeing heavy numbers of enemy forces appearing because they will be beaching. So far, the place the most defenses has not been touched. We have a general unit, but it is Visigoths who are on the shore. That's right. There was one Visigoth army that they landed to do their attack against us, and this is what remains of him and his men. So we are attempting to kill him because he can provide a lot of support, and we have the docking ships. They're coming in slowly but surely. What do we have here? He's not going to catch that. This unit, how are they doing? Not too amazing, to be honest. Oh, not sure why those two are just standing there.
The enemy is upon us! They're at the walls!
Apparently, they have showed up. So they're attacking this barricade. I always find that to be hilarious. And we see most of them are going to that central area where they can really pile in together. And so I move those swords to help over in that central area. And I'm moving my archers back so that they can do their thing. We're going to fast forward because this defensive battles take forever. Once something happens, we'll go ahead and start doing it. Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on. More units are piling into this middle area. And we are firing right into their butts. Which should give us decent numbers of kills or damage with that unit. Look at all those units coming in. We have the two generals. They are not in the forefront of the battle. But our archers are firing. We've almost finished off Cedric, apparently, or Cedric. Those step-mounted bows have finished their arrows, which is good.
The enemy refuses to admit
We have moved our hurlers over in case they do attack where I assume they would. But it actually kind of looks like that barrier has just made them not go that way. And we're like, you know what? There's a lot of dudes coming this way. Maybe we should do something about it. So I move this, I see that they're coming in with archers, and I move a unit of swords over to go into Testudo and draw fire. Because we obviously don't want them firing at the flanks of other units, so giving them a target to play with is a good idea. And it doesn't look like they're taking it. They seem to really be focused on those spears. Now they are in Testudo, but not the best. Okay, so Cedric's unit is now coming in to fight. Huh. Most of them, again, are heading towards this central area. Let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit. So over here on the bottom left, you see that they are doing some attacks over there, but not much. Slow that down. Now that hell of arrows is not really doing a lot to us, which is good to see. They do have 2 units of pikes. Both of them are kind of beat up. And I think I begin actually using my cavalry to go hunt down these broken units. There are only 15 of them, but they will, have to kill a lot. A lot. Because we, of course, want everyone who showed up here to die. We're firing right into these pikes at point-blank range from on top of this wall. And attempting to just wipe them out. The 2 generals are finally coming, but they are in no particular hurry. This unit begins going for those axemen because those axemen can prove problematic for my spears if they go there. Down here is just becoming a giant horde of combatantes spears. Let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit as more and more units come in. And we see those generals are now coming around, and so we will try to kill them off as they come through. But it's very difficult. At this point I've realized, wow, they've ignored this part where I assumed they would come, coming from the sea, and they have formed a mosh pit here. So I moved my general over in the attempts of providing morale bonuses to my men. Their generals are coming around to get in the fight, which I am happy to see. And I begin dropping fear down in the attempts of knocking these guys out. So generals come in, they begin fighting away. And we move swordsmen to come and help, because that's a mess of dudes right there. That is a mess of dudes. Okay, we'll go back into normal play. They're still firing over here. They're not getting much done. I say, well, if they're going to do this, they're all going to break down here. We'll have those cav ready to go. Here they are firing now at these guys and not doing much. We have a little bit of damage on Wamba, and these archers are done. So we move them off and we try to move other archers in with the goal of shooting at the generals. Now the generals are in just a mess of dudes, so not necessarily going to do much. Well, we have 4 units of archers, and 3 units of archers and a hurler, mainly shooting over here. And we're going to send our cav to kill off these Germanic pikes as soon as they get beyond the reach. I don't care about him. If he dies, fine. If he didn't die, then they're going to get a whole new unit back anyways. So this becomes an incredible crawl as we throw all of our missile weapons that we have left right at those 2 generals. Unfortunately, don't seem to be doing a great job. They did drop 1 unit of spears, Germanic spearmen, in over here, so wasn't a total waste of putting our men there. We have one unit of pikes that are still around. Lots of the Komatati spears. Let's go ahead and speed this up because it is kind of a crawl as we begin hunting them down. Now, over here, we see that they're getting far enough out that we can begin hunting them. They have brought their unit of axemen into here, and they've almost finished all of their arrows, at which point I'll be able to take these swords and send them elsewhere. That separatist unit has barely been touched. Where Wamba is down about a quarter of his people already. Let's go ahead and speed this up, as again, it is just a knockdown drag fight as we really do try to push them here. The axemen are a slight problem, but not too bad. And I believe here I'm talking about how we want to begin breaking them, but we don't want to break all of them at once. The best case scenario has 1 or 2 units breaking every couple minutes, so that the fine 15 horsemen can chase them down, kill them all, and so that we don't have them showing up again in the near future. And this will be a long, long battle. If you look, we're at 48 minutes in the video, and there's a lot of video left that was originally taped, which is why we're fast forwarding, because this is just like the longest fight. Even at the fastest speed possible, we really have a giant bash on our hands. We are winning though. We are slowly knocking them down. Their ammo crews are beginning to run out of ammo. Of course, we don't have any ammo left either. It looks like Hilarius Varus is still at 155 men, where Wamba's much less. So Wamba's getting in the fight where Hilarius is letting his Komatata spears try to do everything. The axemen are standing pretty firm. Those Komatati spears, though, not so good against us. Okay. Our cav unit hanging out. You can just see those numbers and not really going down. And that's really part of why this battle's taking so long. The generals aren't really getting attacked, and if you can't kill off the general, then these battles really can grind in. And because they've put everyone in this area, what I find happens is there are actually like 3 or 4 generals here. I apparently sent another spear unit in to deal with this dude, and so he's running away and the spears are chasing him. I sent a sword unit, not a spear unit. And I sent the spears to try to go and catch them. So what happens here is there are so many generals standing here offering bonuses. Basically, it's the immovable object versus the unbreakable wall. They just keep coming and we just keep holding firm. Over here they threw archers into melee, which I would not have done if I was the AI. I would have just had them leave the board. They're not useful in melee. In fact, they're like detrimental. Putting them on the edge of the map to run off if necessary makes a heck of a lot more sense. Because one thing that will hurt them in morale-wise is losing troops. Now you can see our numbers here: 253 kills, 167 kills, 60. But we are really doing a ton of damage to these guys. And they just keep coming as this begins to drag out ever further. And I started dropping fear here more and more in the attempt to break units. This unit was a unit of archers that fought to 3 men in melee. It's just, they have so many bonuses because of legendary difficulty and all of the generals being right there front and center that it really bogs down. And You can kind of see it up on the map. At this point, we have about a half an hour available left in the actual fight. You can kind of see it here. It's a little bit difficult, but I believe it says 31 minutes and 24 seconds. And as you can tell, the time on this video just keeps going, because I didn't really have a pause button when I taped this, and I lamented so many times that I don't have a times 10 button. So at this point, we're just throwing more men into the pile, throwing some swords in there to try to break some units, as swords are better against spears than other spears. We have a few people breaking, but not many. And to be honest, our own troops look like they're wavering more than theirs are. As that one, not only does it break, but it foolishly charges right out into them, losing me a battalion. We bring some troops over because we're not really having any problems on that side, and we're fortifying this mess. It really is them just throwing themselves at a wall of our men. Our cav are chasing down people as they break. There just aren't that many breaking. But, you know, more and more units are wavering. We're killing them off in droves. We actually brought some swordsmen out to attempt to take out these archers that were over here, because they had no bows, and even though the swordsmen are pretty wrecked, they should easily be able to just crush those guys. And at this point, I actually began pulling other units, archers and whatnot, and putting them outside the city to help chase people down, because I'm hoping that we get a couple general kills here and get a giant mass rout. Now, I have nothing I can really throw in the back of them. There just isn't that stuff here to do that with. So we want to try to catch them up. And since we only have a few cavalry, we want to bring in these other units and put them into their place. Okay, so slow this down a little bit to just talk about what we have here. At this point, I say we can take these swords and throw them right into these dudes, and so we do. We take spear units that are all those units who were saving. We start putting out here. We have one unit over here that's getting away. Doesn't look like we're going to get them before they get off the board. We have a bunch of Komatati spears over here. Here our swords did catch them, and we have one unit of spears on either side. This unit here is not doing a very good job of blocking that entrance. Come on guys, you can catch those Germanic hurlers, and we start bringing these guys in to help because that other group is gone. Those spears don't look like they're going to catch them. The skirmishers are faster. They aren't very good in melee, but they are faster, so they have a slightly better chance of actually catching up to some of these. So that's kind of what we did over here as we prepared to push on. And at this point, we're at around an hour and 10 minutes. This was going to be a very long video. So fast forwarding, we're starting to see some breaking, but the general units just aren't dying. And if they don't die, then it becomes very difficult to get them to do anything. So we start bringing these swords back because they've done as much as they can there. They are bringing some spears out, but nothing too big. Continue to try to split our men around to catch these people. I believe that Wamba has died, but Hilarious continues to be just an unkillable dude. There goes Wamba's group. And since the majority of troops here are Hilarious's troops, him refusing to die becomes a problem. And we start to see that some of these units are getting tired, they're having trouble, and they're falling back. So we're moving more units forward to continue the fight. At this point, we are down to about 5 minutes, and I start going, wow, I really need to break them. So I take the spears that are outside the city, and I begin pulling them in the attempts of charging in the back. I take these spears that are over there because the fight's now not going to come down to there. And I throw them in as well, so that all of our troops are coming in right here. And we take all of those troops we put out in the back, and we rear charge them right into these spears. And we start seeing wavering. Massive wavering. They just won't break. And as time wears out, we just keep charging out. We leave our defensive high ground, and we just charge out to try to get a mass rout. And with 13, 12, we're like, just break the last 2-3 units. This dude over here needed to break 2. We charge our fine 15 in to kill them. And no. If those 2 units, I think there were only 2 left, had broken, the one over here and the one there, we could have ran all those dudes down. Now as it is, we killed almost 4,000 men. And we now outnumber them a huge margin. But we could have, like, totally wiped all of these armies out. And, I think we killed Hilarius. Oh, no, we didn't kill... I don't think we killed Hilarius. We'll find out. 400 kills, 300 kills. All of our skirmishers got triple digits. Just some really good work by our troops. Unfortunately, because Hilarius just would not die, those Komitati spears held, and they held, and they held. It really was far more costly. So that is the video. We stopped there because we had gone so far. Now, we'll be back in 2 days with our part 19 of our Let's Play Total War Attila. Sorry that this one did not have the actual volume to go with it, but unfortunately we did have technical issues. So like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. Adios.